We're now going to get into some more difficult division problems. It's still the exact same process, but we have to do a little more thinking on it. Once again, division is used when you already have the total and you want your answer to be smaller, and you've got to put it in equal groups. So we will divide when we come across that type of problem. Here was a way you could remember the process for division. Does McDonald's serve burgers? You could have come up with whatever you wanted. It stands for divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. These were the notes that you took down previously about the division steps. D is for divide, M multiply, S subtract, B bring it down. You keep doing this over and over again until there's no more numbers to bring down. And remember, I told you that you are done when the remainder is smaller than the divisor. Otherwise, you've done something wrong if it's bigger than the divisor. Remainders, once again, can be reported several ways. Your way you're used to is just saying R and then whatever the number is. I showed you how to do it as a fraction, and we're practicing that. As a decimal, we'll be doing some practice with that, rounding up or down. It all depends on the situation of the problem and deciding which is the best way to do it, the most reasonable way. Okay, today we're going to be dividing 2-digit numbers and 3-digit numbers by a 2-digit divisor. So our dividend can be 2 digits long or 3 digits long, but we're going to be looking at 2-digit divisors. I'm going to look at this number and I see 21 here. Can 21 go into 7? It cannot go in there. So I'm going to put my X there because I know that it's impossible for 21 to go into 7 when we're talking about whole numbers. Now I've got to look at 21, how many times it will go into 79. Well, I know that 20 times 4 equals 80. 20 times 3 equals 60. So I am going to use the 3 times, because if I do the 4 times, it'll be too much. Another way you can look at it is think about how many times does 2 go into 7? About 3 times. That's another way for you to do the estimating part. So we just divided. We said that 21 is going to go into 79 3 times. Now we have to multiply. Well, we already did the multiplication over here. That's the cool thing about doing some work on the side, is you already got it for you. But now it's 3 times 21, and that would be 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. So we did the multiplication. Now we have to subtract. 79 minus 63 is 16. Bring down. There's nothing to bring down. That means I'm done. To check myself, is 16 smaller than my divisor? Yes, it is. So I am done. So I have a remainder of 16. Or I could have written it as a fraction. 16. My remainder goes on top of the numerator, and my denominator goes is my divisor is my denominator. So there's 2 different ways I could report that. Now I'm going to check myself. I'm going to take these 2 numbers and multiply them together and then add in the remainder. So let's check. I'm going to use the box method this time. $20 times 3 is 60. 1 times 3 is 3. 60 plus 3 is 63. Add my remainder of 16. 6 and 3 is 9. 6 and 1 is 7. 79 is the exact same thing as my dividend, so I am good to go on this problem. Now let's try a 2-digit going into a 3-digit. Alright, let's go through the process. Divide. Can 32 go into 7? No. Can 32 go into 79? It is a possibility because it's bigger than that. So let's go through our process. 32 times 2 would be 64. 32 times 3 would be 96. So that's too many times, so I'm going to use just 2 times. So I did my division. Now I'm going to multiply. 32 times 2 is 64. Subtract 79 minus 64 is 15. Bring down, I have a number to bring down this time, so I'm going to bring down my 1. And then I'm going to repeat my process. Remember, it's okay to do some work on the side to help you figure out how many times a number is going to go in. That means how many times is this number divisible by this number. You're going to be checking. It's okay to do some work to the side to help you out. So now I have to look at it as if I have 151 of something and I need to divide it by 32. Well, 32 times 3 was 96. So let's try 32 times 4, which is 128. And I can check it, do whatever I need to do to make sure. I know that 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12, that's 128. I can do this in my head. If you need to do more work somewhere, that's okay too. So 128, so let's see if it'll go in another time. So I've got 128, add another 32 in because I'm just doing this repeated amount of times. I'm going to add this 160. That's too many times, so 5 times wouldn't work, but 4 times will. So now 4 times 32 already did the work. I don't have to do it again when I multiply. Subtract is my next step. Here I can regroup, or I can use number sense. When I use number sense, I'm going to take away 2 from this and make it 149. Take 2 away from that and make 126. I'm really doing this in my head, guys, but I'm explaining how I do it. And then I know it's a difference of 23. So that's just some of the ways I can do it. Or I can sit there and say, okay, 50 to 30 is 20, and then there's that extra 1 makes 21, and 2 away makes 23. So I'm just trying to let you hear how I think to help you out with some number sense. 23 is what we get as our difference. Bring down, there's nothing to bring down, so this is my remainder. Check myself. Is 23 less than the divisor of 32? Yes, it is, so I have a remainder of 23. Now I'm going to check myself. It's so important to check yourself on division because it is a harder concept for you. And if you check, then you'll be assured that you did it correctly. So I am going to take my divisor and multiply it by my quotient. And I'm going to use the lattice method on this one. I think it's just so much faster to use lattice or box, guys. Three times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. I do my adding. I got 768. Add in my remainder of 23. $791 is what I get, and that is my dividend that I started out with. So I'm good to go on this problem.